Ride lean if you ride old, ride slow, candy paint, slamming knees. Don't ride lean if you ride old, ride slow, candy paint, slamming knees. Don't ride lean if you ride old, ride slow, candy paint.
We are back. Hunt for Gold Sessions 9 with yours truly, Jeffrey Albert is back. And I got one hell of a fucking human being with us today. Brandon Castagna has joined us, ladies and gentlemen. How do we feel? How do we feel?
Amazing. How do you feel?
I'll be completely honest with you. Incredible. There's one word to describe it, I feel like $1 million.
Perfect. That's the way it should be. That's how everybody should be.
Bro, reached out to you. I had a feeling this was going to be something important.
Definitely.
Something important. Because I actually came across my boy Matt Shurik passed me along some letter by his name is Hunter S. Thompson.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and he wrote a letter to his friend in the day saying, like, what is your purpose in life? And a quote, this happened 2 days ago, so it's so weird that these things, like, happen.
That's the oneness, my brother.
Dude, it's fucking insane.
There's no such thing as coincidence. It's only confirmation, you know? Because if this is the universe, then there is no division. Division is a concept we created. We're cells in a body, you know? Your body didn't come into fruition because your cells were at war with each other or they were divided, right?
Wow.
Look, think about all the incredible things your body does every second.
Every minute. That
you're not even in control of. Hundreds of processes, thousands of processes. You know, your liver wasn't formed because it was at war with, you know, the other cells. It worked in perfect harmony because there's no division.
People, we're going to take it to the next level today right now. I just can't. Holy fuck. Okay, we're going to take it to the next level. But a quote. Down we go. But a quote that came from this letter I read was, every reaction is a learning process, and every significant experience alters your perspective. So I read this on Saturday, and then me and you spoke, and this man, you traveled the fucking world. And people know you for this traveler.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So the first thing.
Dude.
Was your decision to travel based on what you were searching for? Or perhaps you were running from something?
No. The reason I actually started to travel this time around, I was just living in California. Actually, that's a crazy story. Everything you start to see is part of the same linear equation, you know? Mm-hmm. You tap into that frequency and it's just like, that's the path. So everything just starts happening when you're in alignment. There's no divine mistakes, you know? So one thing led to another. I was living with one of my friends for a little while. He was like, called me up when I was on a business trip and I was driving a van. He was like, I just came across like these really cheap tickets to Vietnam. You think we should go? I was like, yeah, why not? And that's like not what he thought I was going to say. He was like, we have to quit our jobs and give up the apartment. And I was like, let's do it, man. I got some money saved, let's just go.
Just like that.
Felt right. And right then and there, he booked the flight. And that was it.
One-way ticket?
One-way ticket to Vietnam.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right to Nam.
Wow.
So it just took off from there.
So that's what really, it was just spontaneity.
Yeah, the feeling, you know. The reason I got to California, the reason for like the last part of my life, the later part of my life is all based upon that feeling, you know, and it's only because I've been in alignment, you know. Mm-hmm. So everything just kind of comes to you when you're attuned to that higher vibration, you know. Everything works in cycles, you know. So if you think about it just in a mathematical equation, 1 + 1 always equals 2 no matter where you are in the universe, dimensions, whatever. So if you do this, and you do this, and you do this, it's going to create this like linear circle.
That will continue to happen.
Exactly. Now, you got to put a conscious mind to it and realize that, oh, my life is really negative, you know? Or now my life is really positive. Why is that? You know, you start to see, oh, I'm hanging out with these people, it's influencing me to be this way. When in reality, I want to be this way. I want to be myself. So it's all about recognizing like the linear pattern of your actions that form this reality that will go on forever and ever unless you change it. So I tuned into that, and it's only been this positive circulation.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's something I really want to share with people, is because here we could talk about all this metaphysical stuff, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and people are always like, oh, peace, love, but it's just like, what's the key to life? Mm-hmm. How do we, reach that love level? My life sucks. I want to be like this guy. How do I do it?
Change it.
Change it. Now, I want to give you this concept because it will change every aspect of everyone's life, and I know this for a fact.
Give it to me. Let's go.
Tried and true, my friend. Your thoughts are the workforce, and your mind is like the architect. So the architect builds all the plans, and the thoughts just carry it out, whatever it is. So if you're not conscious with your mind, the thoughts are still carrying out that process. They're building this reality around you. So if your life is a mess, or you feel like you have no control over it, maybe you're not in control of your mind. Maybe you're just like letting it do whatever it wants to, and those things are being manifested into physical reality. So now what I want you to do for the rest of forever, because the human mind is the most technological piece of equipment that this universe has ever seen, has ever felt, is be conscious of your thoughts and realize that once you hone in on something, when you think about it, it goes into fruition. If it's a subconscious thought, it still goes into fruition and manifests into reality. So I want you, if you have a goal in your mind, if you want to meet this girl, have that thought with no doubt. Because as soon as you let doubt into that equation, here you go from here to creating this parallel reality where uncertainty is. Maybe you'll meet her, maybe you won't. You have to be so conscious with your thoughts and have no doubt. And everything just flows in that direction. And the mind is the key. If you look in all these ancient civilizations, man, the mind is the key.
It's the power.
The power. The pineal gland is the seat of the soul. You know what I'm saying? In all these ancient, Egyptian artifacts and all these paintings all over the world, they had pine cones in there. And the pine cone is a reference to the pineal gland. And the key is the mind.
People lose sight of their mind and
Yes.
think they just run with these random thoughts. And it just happens and they just let it flow like a river.
That's it.
Rather than harnessing it.
Yes. It's just happening, and then they think it's normal. But as soon as you're like, oh, this is what I want, everything is just flowing nicely. And you create this reality, this circle, this constant influx of positivity, when you really raise your vibrational level and you're clear with your intention. Intention is key. If you don't have intention in what you're doing,
what's the point?
There is no point. There is no point. So intention is key. The mind is the key to everything. We literally create. We are the creators. There's no, savior race coming down to save us,
It's us.
It's us. We're the savior race, We got to do it for
walk with
ourselves.
this wool over our eyes with just going through the motions, not thinking about this.
Never about this. Not about this at all. We're so consumed with this.
Oh, Lord.
With this. People nowadays have traded their conscious mind, their sovereign mind, for artificial intelligence. You could say this is what people are nowadays.
Phone held up to the eyes.
That's it. It has become their third eye. It's become the seat of their soul. This determines every action, every piece of clothing they own, every decision they make, the lingo, the words they use. How many kids you hear saying, it's lit, fam, it's lit, it's lit. It's just like, that didn't stem from one person. You heard someone say that and now you abide by that lingo because you want to be this image of that person. When in reality, if you're so caught up in being this person and that person and this person, you miss out on this person. You miss out on your path. You miss out on you. Every single person has a different path and something to add to this world. Look at what's happening all over the world. Just today, a 7.3... Japan, yeah. 7.3, scale friggin' tsunami or earthquake just hit Japan. Fukushima.
Millions of people. But the thing that bothers me the most about that is that someone will tweet prayers for Japan. And that's it. And that's it. And that's it. And now, I did a good thing.
If you don't fully embody what you feel, it becomes a useless concept. You could say your peace and your love, and you could post all these pictures on your Instagram, but in reality, it has just become an image of you. It has become a persona that you created, that you have no real ties to. It's not what you actually feel. Mm-hmm. It's what you want people to perceive you as. That's why I have such a big problem with social platforms, is because now no one is actually themselves. They've created an image of themselves, and that's why how everybody sees them. Everyone sees me for traveling and doing all these things. It's like, that's not me. I'm not the same person that I walked in the room before. We're constantly changing.
Right.
You know, our experience is based on past things in the past, situations from the past.
Alters your perspective.
But the past does not exist. Guess where the past exists? Right here. This is reality right now. That's the only reality we will ever have.
Minute to minute is reality. Second to second.
You know, and that's such a big part of what's going on today. People are so heavily vested in the past or so heavily vested in the future that they're missing out on right now. You know, and that's where the ego lives. Here and there. Past and future. But when you're in the present moment, it's like the ego doesn't know how to function. So you get to be you, you know, for that time that you're here now. So.
I think people are afraid to dive into something like this. This right now, taking the notice of there is no then and there's no after. It's right now.
The way we perceive time through this physical reality, through this physical dimension, is linear. There's the past, there's the present, there's the future, and it's going to go on like this. When in reality, that's just how we view it. Time is happening all right now. Time and space are a dimension. It's happening right here, right now. All dimensions are happening right here, right now. There's not somewhere else. They're all like a sandwich. You know, they're all here and now. You know, and we just can't see them or perceive them. But there's just so much that we don't know that people aren't diving into. Look at the age we live in.
But why? But why? But why aren't they diving into it?
Because they're here. They're comfortable. Nothing is catalyzing them to want to dig further. They're so embellished in their social networking and their job and their career. You know, basically it's this. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault at all. You know, it's this. Is that we were born into a prison that we can't see, taste, or touch, or smell, just like in the Matrix.
Just talking. So you traveled Vietnam, Thailand, Cali. How would you define the biggest difference culturally between where you've traveled and the United States?
The value of life. You know? Gratefulness. You know? Going to India was like one of the most unbelievable experiences of my life. You know? Check this out. We all have jobs, right? We're not thankful for them, really. You know, we just go there and make the money. You know what most people do in India if they can't get a job, there's no work? They have the largest population on the planet. I watched this guy in Varanasi follow this cow around all day long, picking up its shit, putting it in a bucket. Then I would watch him bring it to his rooftop, put it all over his roof, cover his roof in animal shit, let it dry up. And the process was, let it dry up. When it's dried up, then you go sell it on the street. And people take that shit and they cook their food with the methane. They light that shit on fire and that's how they eat. That's what that dude does for a living. He follows animals around all day, collects their shit, puts it on a roof, then sells it for like 1 rupee a piece, which is like a fraction of a percent of a penny. You know, there's millions of people in India that don't even have power in their homes. Families, no power in their homes. I'm sure you know how like the whole bathroom situation in India works too, right? There's no toilet paper.
No.
People, it's just a different way of life. The value of their life is much different. And true practicing Hindus live with this thing called ahimsa, which is nonviolence. And real practicing Hindus believe that nonviolence doesn't only exist in physical form, but in mental form. Not thinking bad about somebody. You know, not thinking bad about a situation. You want to live with nonviolence and cause non-harm to everyone. You know, and then being here in America, everybody's eating burgers, you know?
Right.
That's the number one, you know, contributor to climate change. That's not controversial. That's a fact now. 80% of the Amazon rainforest has been cut to the ground to grow fucking cattle so people can eat them. Check this out. Most people don't know this, and this is a fact. We get about 40% of our oxygen from the rainforest.
Right.
Where does the rest come from? Most people don't know. The ocean. Now, if we get, let's say, almost half of our oxygen from the rainforest, out of 100% of rainforest worldwide, ancient growth rainforest worldwide, guess how much is still left standing?
Couldn't even tell you a percentage.
Like under 20%. And they cut it down at a football field a second every single day. So you do the math. How much longer is that going to take till there's no more rainforest?
And then our dirty oceans with landfills floating.
Dude, NASA said in less than 50 years, not a single species could sustain life in the ocean due to the acidification. That's the rest of our oxygen. Scientists nowadays, with the most incredible technology they have available to them, said in order to clean up the ocean's acidification levels to the time just before the Industrial Revolution would take 700 years. With the most advanced technology today, it would take 700 years. The last time the levels got this bad, naturally, it took 70,000 years. And you could look this up, man. This is real stuff. This is our oxygen supply. So in the very near future, the oxygen is going to be, a big deal. And before the oxygen goes, what happens, If that's the last thing keeping us alive, then what happens before then? Like I said, the rainforest is being cut down for friggin' cattle. Dude, getting back to the India thing, it's like when you go from the cultural, polarities, it's like here we're so vested in cutting down the rainforest in these countries for money. We don't put conscious thought to, the animals or the people living there or the earth, the planet.
The future.
It's crazy, man. So going from, this world where we're all about, destruction and going off emotion to going to this world where everyone's like thinking, rationally and with love and thinking not harmful thoughts or harmful actions. And cows are treated like gods there. So to see that polarity is unbelievable. Nobody eats meat there unless you're Muslim, but most of them are Hindu, and the cows just roam the street and they're treated as gods, So it's just like
Why
the polarity.
Is
that? That's like how it's been through Hindu tradition. They saw the cow as some sacred god.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's just like the polarity,
The thing that baffles me is that everything is surrounded by this monetary value. If the companies for the cow, right? Beef companies, corporations making billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars a year, a day, aren't thinking about long-term effects of human beings, we could become extinct.
What do you think is happening right now? Look at the cycles of time we're going through. All the ancients wrote about this time. Because think about how much further this smartphone is going to go. Think about how much it came in the last 10 years. In the future, it's going to be snip the umbilical cord, put the computer chip in the brain. That's where this is going. They have the Google glasses now.
I just saw a thing that Samsung or Sony was looking to make contacts.
Where do you think this is going?
That take video and take pictures. And I was thinking about this show, Westworld, is out of control. They're saying, like, how are you going to differentiate what's a video and what's real life?
Look where we're heading. So if we're heading to complete,
reliance on technology.
Think about that. If we're going to be completely integrated with technology and we're essentially going to be like flesh and bone robots, all those esoteric teachings and all those esoteric prophecies aren't meant for robots to find them, aren't meant for robots to know that knowledge.
Yeah.
They're made for us. They talked about this far off time in the future, and that future is now. So it's up to us to heed those warnings and realize that cause and effect is a real thing. Everything has a cause, everything has an effect. You cut down all the rainforest, we got no oxygen. You pollute all the water, we have no oxygen. You cut down all the rainforest, there's no more trees growing. It's a linear equation. This plus this equals this. No doubt, no other way. It's this plus this equals this, which is essentially our extinction. So we have the power, we have the resources to change the course of humanity, but it's the will.
Because at this point, the will has been to get the money.
The ego, my
to get the product.
It's just the ego. Like I said, vested in the past, vested in the future, not here and now. But I had to take a plane from a big airport to a small airport to get into this 4-seat little plane to get to the rainforest. I got off the plane. This tour guide never showed up. I got robbed in the transit. I had no money now. I can't afford a flight back to where I came from. Where am I supposed to go,
Holy shit.
Then conscious mind came in. It was just like, be aware of your thoughts and create your reality. I'm left with freak out and run circles, or create this positive path that's going to show me that I am in control and I am creating. So I rose and I was like, this is meant to be. Let me just follow this. Let me understand this. So the guy that was like working this little airport thing told me like my guide would be across the way, just wait for him there. Hours went by, nobody came. He took me into his house, fed me, made me wait there with him and his wife. Nobody came. Then we see these two younger kids, probably like 15, 16, walking. He's like, those people are from the tribe you're supposed to stay with. Let's go talk to them. And this is all in super broken English. Those two kids didn't speak any English, so the guy had to like translate. Yeah. So basically they took me to the rainforest, 3 hours into, the craziest rainforest I've ever seen. Lived with them for a few days, and they took me to this crazy hike, like 20 hours or whatever it was, through this rainforest. No trails or anything, to like this big village. And it was just, and those people just took me in. They just took me in, fed me, and I became part of their community. I used to go to like the little school there and wash all the dishes with the kids. They used to draw me all these little pictures and stuff. I still have them in my house. But it's like, this is heaven on earth. These people are living, coexisting with the world around them. They're not cutting it down. They have nothing, and they're so happy. They have everything.
They don't need a material to determine their happiness.
Exactly, to determine their value, their life's worth. They have everything already, And it's those people that are suffering the most, because those people are in constant jeopardy of these corporations going in there and turning their land into palm oil plantations, which is happening all over Borneo. When I was in the air, and the pictures I'm going to show you are of all wiped out rainforests and lines of these friggin' these trees. It's ridiculous.
This, I want the world to hear this.
They need to, because it's like, if it's not going to come to you, if you're not going to go there, at least let me, show you, what I've gone through, and know that this is real. This is for everybody. What you guys do is for everybody. And if we don't do it, what good are we?
Right.
We've wasted our talents. We've wasted our experience. So that's the whole thing. If you got something to say it to somebody.
I want you to repeat that one more time. If you got something to say
it to somebody. Because you can't go to the grave with the knowledge because what was it for then? It was wasted. It was wasted. So we have this chance in life to change the course of humanity.
Why do you think you're this messenger?
Who else is going to do it? Who else is doing it right now? Who do you know that's doing this?
0 people.
We live in a reality of concept. You could be anybody, do anything. I don't see anybody doing this. Nobody I know is doing this. I've had so many experiences that would make people probably fucking cry. I've seen the worst. I've seen the best. I've been a poor man in India. I've been an Aboriginal in friggin' Australia. I've seen the polarity, and now I understand that you have to share this. You have to share this view, this concept, that we are all one living symbiotic organism, and that there's cause and effect, and that we have the power with our minds to create our reality. And now it's up to us. What are we going to create? What's our reality going to be?
You decide.
You have to decide. Now, we have our own creative ability to create our life, but the same applies. If we're all one, then not only do we have the power to create our lives, but joined together, we have the possibility to change the entire world's reality. Think about the state of the world right now, and think about the state of the people that are here. People don't even know what they're passionate about. People don't know what they like. Going back to this phone is generating everyone's conscious decision. What they like, what they don't like, how they dress, how they talk, the music they listen to. And it's sad.
They're not creating for themselves.
They're not doing anything for themselves. So here we are, bringing to them, this knowledge, not a learned, thing in a book, knowledge that I've gained through experience, to show them that we are infinitely capable of anything.
Anything on the planet.
Anything in existence. If you can think it, we can do it. That's the point. The mind is the key. So are we going to sit back, pay thousands of dollars for Kanye West shoes, worry about our job and our nice car and all this surface rust bullshit? Or are we going to dig deep into ourselves, realize we're not this person, we're not even this body, that we are beings of light, here to nurture and protect this world and this reality? You know, and it's left up to the people. You know, you're sovereign over your own mind. Everyone is free to think and to be. You know, but it comes down to this. You could be anybody, do anything here. You know, that's what the reality is all about. You could be anything. I'm a parallel, you know, version of you. You're me.
Right. Right.
So you could be anybody here. But the whole thing is that we're all heading to the same destiny. So knowing that and being here, why don't we change that? We can change that.
What's it take?
Conscious thought. Conscious thought. You know, we have to realize that working for money was a concept somebody made up and we now abide by. That was never a thing thousands of years ago. You know, you worked your land and you fed your family. You built your house. Nobody was on friggin' Wall Street working the stock market, driving Lamborghinis. Something happened in esoteric times. Now this monetary system has come into play. And it's affected everybody's life. It's affected everyone's perception of reality. People's worth nowadays is how many zeros are in your bank account or how expensive your designer clothes are.
That's what shows your status.
Your status. That's just the ego running rampant. You know, we are so focused on this idea of who we are and who we have to be that we totally miss out on who we actually are and who we're actually meant to be.
I think that's the main message of today. Losing sight of who you are.
Yes.
Because of this ego status that is just ways above you, that you're striving for, that doesn't even exist.
Let's just say a catastrophic event happens right now. You think you're going to eat your Lamborghini? You think you're going to start frying up some friggin' nickels and dimes? Nope. Who are you going to be when shit hits the fan, you know? And that's what I like to ask people. Who are you without your money? Who are you without your nice fancy car? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Most people have no answer, or it's a superficial answer.
Who are you?
I'm a being of light here to liberate these people and their minds. To steer humanity in a way that we have a positive, progressive, peaceful future. Because if we don't do this and we don't, you know, give it our all, 1 + 1 = 2 no matter where you are. You cut it all down, you burn it all down. What are we left with? Nothing. So